All right, welcome back to another day in 100 Days of ML. We're currently on day 11. So yesterday I set up Tensorflow Extended, which is a library for setting up your ML pipeline. And so I installed and set up Tensorflow Extended. We ran it on Docker container using Jupyter Notebooks, and we were trying to get the data ingestion example going on. But I think we were successful in running the example. However, our data set was a little flawed because of the fact that it wasn't actually CSV. It was colon separated, not comma separated. So when it was loaded into TF records, the separation wasn't proper. It was loading in row at a time, which was incorrect. But so in order to get a better example in, what I'm going to do is go through TensorFlow's guide itself, and they have a series of tutorials that they suggest that you go through. And give me a few seconds to set things up. All right, so, okay, let's see. Okay, GitHub, we'll update this at the end. Let's close these tabs. Boom, boom, and close this. 100 is ML, let's go to learning TFX, and I guess we'll use this. We do have to run a Docker container, so maybe not this. I'll delete this file. Boom, deleted. And we'll get our Docker container programming, 100 days of challenges, 100 days of ML. And then I have to execute the Docker container. I keep forgetting what the code is for the Docker container. Docker image ls docker run GPUs all. What were the other? I should have this like saved in like one of those README. Okay. Remove port. We want to publish on port 888. And then our working directory, pwd, specify that as tf, and we'll run the TensorFlow 2.5 GPU right here. Boom, let that run, open up Jupyter Notebook, and I'll throw it on this page right here. Navigate to our directory and our file. I'm going to create a new file for this. And I'm going to call it, let's see, TFX pipeline tutorial. Okay, we do have to give credits to TensorFlow, so I'm going to add that at the end. Actually, I'm going to do that at the end. Actually, I'll do it at the end. I mean, I'll do it at the beginning. Let's make this a header. Boom. And then we have to give credits. Let this be a markdown. We'll specify that credits to TensorFlow tutorials and provide the link. Oh man, it's getting hot. Gotta turn on my fan. Okay, let's see. A short tutorial to run a simple TFX pipeline. Put this in bold. And let's have that on the next line, actually. All right. So we recommend running this tutorial in a collab notebook with no setup required. We're not going to do that because we already have a nice PC. I'm going to utilize it. This notebook-based tutorial will create and run a TFX pipeline for a simple classification model. The pipeline will consist of 3 essential TFX components. Example gen, this is what we're primarily focusing on. This is the data ingestion part. Trainer and pusher. The pipeline includes most minimal ML workflow, like importing data, training a model, and exporting the trained model. So please understand the TFX pipeline to learn more about the various concepts. All right, this is cool. I'll use this to study as well. Okay, setup. First, we're going to have to install TFX Python and download the data set for our model. To avoid upgrading pips in a system running locally, check that we're running collab. Okay, so this is for collab. We can specify that directly here. Pip install -q upgrade pip. So that ran, and then we're going to install TensorFlow extended. What is this U and Q? I need to figure that out. Where are the flags? Let's not specify user. That should work. I think the dash Q just stops it from printing out. Damn, why is that taking such a long time? How about we'll execute this, and then we'll execute this next. Okay, what's next? Oops. Did you restart the runtime? If you're using Google Colab, the first runtime will cell you must restart. That's fine. Check TensorFlow and TensorFlow versions. All right, we can do that. Import TensorFlow as TF. Print TensorFlow version. And then we're going to use format. There we go. And next from TFX, v1 as TFX. Version Cool. Let that run. So we're using TensorFlow 2.4.1 and TFX is 0.30, which is pretty good. All right, now we're setting up our variables. There are some variables used to define a pipeline. You can customize these variables as you want. Okay. By default, all output from the pipeline will be generated under the current directory. All output from the pipeline will be generated under the current directory. Okay, sure. So OS, we specify the pipeline name, output directory, which is, here we're using pipelines and pipeline name, path to SQL database. Okay, what we're gonna do here, I think, is create another folder. And let's rename this. And we're gonna move this. Can I not move when it's running? Yeah. TF tutorial. Shoot. Can I drag and drop it? There we go. Restart the kernel. Run all this again. Okay, now we're gonna set up our variables. Set up variables. Import OS, pipeline name, and then we're gonna name it Penguin Simple. Output directory for artifacts generated from the pipeline. Pipeline root is equal to os.path.join pipelines pipeline name. Next, we're going to specify path to SQL database. SQLite database. Metadata storage. Metadata, and then path. So you could do os.path.join. Call this metadata. Pipeline name. And then metadata.db. Next up, we have our directory where created models from the pipeline will be exported. Serving model directory. Os.path.join. Serving model pipeline name. Okay, so we have our pipeline. We have our pipeline root. We have our metadata path, and then our basically where our model will be stored. Serving model directory. And then next up we have run absl import logging caps logging dot set verbosity info. So what does this do? Set default logging level. Let that run. And next we're going to prepare our example dataset. We're going to download the example dataset, and then we're going to, okay, so what we're using is the Palomar Penguins dataset, which is also used in other examples. So there are 4 features: length, depth, clipper length, and body mass. All features have already been normalized and have a range from 0 to 1, and we're going to build a classification model which predicts the species of the penguins based on these features. Because TensorFlow example gen reads inputs from a directory, we need to create a directory and copy the dataset to it. Okay, sure. So this would be, I'm going to call this setting up prepare example dataset. All right, let's do that. Import urllib dot request temp file data root temp file dot make temp prefix tfx data. So we're creating a temporary directory. And specify our URL, which we're going to get our dataset from. And then our data file path. Our site path.join data root, and we'll call the file data.csv. urllib request dot url retrieve data URL, and then so we're using urllib to basically get the CSV file from the URL specified and put it into our data file path. Right. That's a problem if the link's not valid. It works here. Yeah, I don't know what the heck. It'd be no file or directory, tfx data, data.csv. Let's see, did I spell something wrong here? Am I making the directory properly? Prefix state, tfx data, temp file, we have our data file, and the data file path. Call this data.csv. You're using data root, and URL request, URL retrieve, the URL and the file path. Yeah, I don't know. The errors are occurring over here. This part changes every time. right here. So no such file or directory. We'll create tfx data. tmp. Where does this create? Temp file, prefix. What does this do? Return a file-like object, which can be used as temporary storage area. Create securely. It will be destroyed as soon as it is closed. Directory entry for the file is not created at all, or removed immediately. So I think we're having issues because we're running this inside of a Docker container. Temp file. KD temp. Okay, so tmpfs is temporary. I have to specify mount and destination. Yeah, I mean, this is the issue right now. I guess the directory doesn't even exist. The temp directory does not exist at the moment. What I could do is run the Hugging Face transformer with Tensorflow and see if that works out. But we can't use a notebook for that. I could mount the entire home directory. I'll try doing that. That might actually be the easiest fix. Go to a new tab. Do we have the temp here? I don't see a temp directory. What if I back up a little bit? Still got nothing. Okay, I might have to use a Hugging Face transformer, which is alright. Okay, I'm gonna be back in a few minutes. Switch over to... Oh shoot, I don't think I have the... Okay, I'm gonna go AFK. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, let's see. All right, let's run the Hugging Face transformer and check if that works. If that doesn't, what I'm going to do is just end up creating a custom container by building a Docker file. Boom, boom. Let's actually take the same code from here, copy and paste it. And we don't really need to publish a port, so I'm going to delete that part. Boom. And ls transformers. Yeah, okay, cd transformer ls, and where's our stuff? It should be in tmp. Okay, I think I need to go back. Cd tmp ls. Okay, there we go. We have our stuff here. Cd into what is it called? Learning TFX. And cd one more into Tensorflow tutorial. Okay, and now we have to just kind of create a Python file instead of a Jupyter notebook. Or can we? I think we could run Jupyter here. I just have to pip install Jupyter. Oh, but I forgot to publish the port. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, especially in a Docker container. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I'll just create a .py file and then deal with it like that. Because I'm not sure what it's publishing to here. It doesn't say anything. So, yeah, I don't know. TFX pipeline. Tutorial. What? What's going on here? What? Oh, geez. Okay, what the heck? It's not letting me create a file. Oh, okay, let's just end this Docker container. I want to publish the port for Jupyter just in case. What the heck just happened? And what do I need to do? I need to create that file before I start the container. Bro, was what? That worked. But why? I don't understand why it's not letting me create a file under this directory. Yeah, I guess we just have to run the Jupyter notebook and then see what's going on. This isn't gonna work. God damn. It says it's published on port 888. Yeah, but the Jupyter notebook's not working like that. It's probably because I have it wrong. I need to, if I'm gonna use Jupyter, I have to download the Jupyter version. And then I guess there's no point in doing that. I guess I could just go back to running this. We're going in circles now. I think it's going to create an error because there's now a directory called temporary in this. Let's go to terminal, ls, cd_ls. And then we're trying to save into tmp, which doesn't really exist. Oh no, it does exist, but it's in a root. Where do we specify tmp here? /tmp c/ls. So /tmp should go here. I'm not sure why it's not. C/tmp ls. We have all the pip install. Okay, how do we create a temporary directory in Docker container. TMP. Okay, let's go to this kernels thing. There's nothing in the temp directory. Oh, that's pretty frustrating. Data root temp, make temp. Okay, I need to figure out how to make a temporary directory within a Docker Docker container. And a touch works. Hmm. Let me check what happened here. Here's just installing pip. Did I miss anything? Hmm. cannot create temporary directory. Shouldn't there be like a simple thing to do here? How do I create a temporary directory in a Docker container? Why is there no easy answers here? What the heck's going on? Docker compose is to extract Python object files. Okay, what the heck does this do? Yeah, this is depreciated. What the heck? I should just use something else like temp dir. I need to make a temporary directory. What is data root? Okay, so I need to specify data root. If it's a tuple, I need to get the second value, like 1, I think. This is not not a directory. What? I see it right here. What is it called? 5TP CO8. 5TP CO8. What the cheeks? Path.join. Data root. What? I mean, if it, oh man. Okay, if it shows up here. Okay, let's cd into this. cannot cd. I mean, it's a temporary file, so I don't know if you can cd into it. Let's see. Platform. Dude, what do you mean you can't? It's not a directory. What was it this time? 7SXP. Okay, well, I fixed the issue where it's not creating the directory, but now I can't freaking save the file into... I can't have TensorFlow recognize that it's a directory for some reason. I don't know if I have permission to access that. Name temporary file, safe dump. Use name temporary file here. I think it's the same thing. Exactly as temporary file, except the file is guaranteed to have a visible name. Used to create a temporary storage area. What's the difference between this and this? Creates this temporary file. What is this? Temporary storage area. Same rules as MKS temp. Destroy it as soon as it closes. I mean, okay, creates a temporary file. It should be the same thing. There's no race conditions. Blah, blah, blah. File is readable and writable only by the creating user ID. The hell's the user? Where do I get the user ID? What's the return for this? Okay, I'm gonna change up and try using temporary file. And if this doesn't work, I have no... It's not... Okay, let me check what the heck this is. It's an IO... How do I access this? Boom, boom, boom. What data type is this? Filter. Split file text. File path, specify file path. What am I doing? What is he doing here? Okay, I'm completely lost now. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is continue this tomorrow, but I'm just going to use collab. Like if Jupyter is not going to work, I have no other options but to run it in Google Colab. It's kind of annoying, but I don't know if there's any other way around this. I don't even understand why we have to specify a temporary directory. Or what I'm going to do is continue reading the textbook a little bit more, do some research, and see if there's any other way around this make directory thing. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I really need to understand what's going on here instead of just trying to execute random code. Okay, day 11. I mean day 12. Maybe day 12 tomorrow. So I'm still not getting the data ingestion correct. What I'm going to do is search online resources for examples of data ingestion. Data ingestion, continue. I'm just going to continue it. And we're going to debug the TensorFlow tutorial that we're working on currently. Going to be our goal for tomorrow. And hopefully, if that's done, or what we're going to do is first, let's just try using collab. And we're also going to check resources after that. I just want to get this done. And I think day 13, I'm going to continue reading ML pipelines. And I'll leave that empty for now. So I've been learning a lot about reinforcement learning, and I think I have a pretty good grasp on it. I watched the MIT reinforcement learning video. Deep reinforcement learning, MIT. So the 6S191 course was really good. I'm not sure if I want to go into this again with Lex Friedman. I think it might be very similar. I might watch the CMU lecture for deep learning. I think CMU has a pretty good lecture as well. So I have to check into that, and I also have to read the textbook, chapter 13. For the most part, I'm getting a pretty good understanding of the reinforcement learning. I do have to learn a lot more about Markov processes, but I think they'll come like with time. Just have to work on it. All right, I'm gonna close it for today.